So again, I posted my advice: teach your grandchildren Arabic. It's received some interesting comments, and I want to share a few of those with my viewers. This one viewer wrote, "We are being worked to death. In the past, one job would support a family of 6. Now a family needs more than one job to be able to support 3. We cannot afford to have large families anymore, and it's all thanks to immigration." Well, it's not just immigration, it's the policies of our government, those elected officials. I did a video on the number of various taxes. I think I listed 97 of them, and I'm sure there's more. And what I said is what I believe to be true. Nothing's changed from the days of the slaves. The only difference is we're not picking cotton. Another viewer wrote, "Yes, and then a taxpayer has to foot the bill to bring all of those immigrants in. They have to further pay to house them, feed them, and the massive amounts of kids they either bring in or have once they get here." Yeah, that's part of the plan. That's why Obama's bringing them in by the plane load. Another viewer wrote, "This is a dreadful prospect for the future. In my opinion, Obama finished what George Bush started, the Bush connection. It really goes back further than that. It started in 1947 with the UN mandate for the Jews to return to Palestine. Now every presidential candidate pledges support for Israel, including Trump. Most Christians support Israel. John Hagee does anyway. They honestly believe that the return of Christ will take place in Jerusalem. The odd thing about this is that Jews are not waiting the return of Christ. They want to rebuild their temple and reestablish their priesthood. After all the support for Israel, the world is becoming Islamic. And what is Netanyahu going to do about it? We're not having much or hearing much about Israel right now. Remember when Netanyahu spoke at the UN and drew a picture of a bomb? But was all started by the UN. It looks like the UN promotes war, not peace. The future looks really dark. What I can't understand is why any American continues to vote for Democrats. Make no mistake, Islam has hijacked our political process, and the Democrat Party is the pro-Islam party. Well, it's only because they want to use the Muslims because there's so many of them. I don't know anyone, even certain Republicans, can talk about national security when there are for open borders. You have to secure the country first. Anyway, if Hillary wins and gets elected, your grandchildren will grow up having to pray to Mecca 5 times a day. Yeah, you might want to get a jump on some prayer rugs, because when the demand goes through the roof, they're going to be much more costly than they are now. Yeah, it's really insane. This other viewer wrote, "Gabe, back in the 70s, they were beating the global overpopulation control drums to the Enlightened. Look at the Chinese and their birth control measures. So now we have this big disconnect with the Izzies and Wuzzies, who are being allowed to breed like insects, while the civilized government all sit around and pontificate about global warming, reducing the population, multiculturalism, etc. I've even heard the Joe Guidestones referred to as America's Stonehenge. Now with the Izzies and Wuzzies are humping themselves out of a seat in a car. The Guidestones don't mean squat, and all the enlightened Caucasians are fighting over the global warming scam. I'm beginning to wonder just how elite are the so-called elite. How long will they be able to maintain their chokehold unarmed Muslim worldwide, while the elitists are overrun by the Izis and Muzis hordes. They have no control over the Izis and Muzis now. All your grandchildren need to learn how to say it. Get the f out of here. Well, it's receiving some interesting comments. And as I stated earlier, I hope some of you folks, or most of you folks, take the time to read, because they're very enlightening. There's no question. I'm a pretty lucky guy. A lot of my subscribers are aware. And they're passing the word out, which is why the channel is growing the way it is. Thanks for listening.